Hello magical hands, this is the result of the tutorial you're about to watch. If it's your first time here, thank you for joining this family, and if you're a return subscriber, thank you for coming back. Without any further ado, let's get into the video proper. The first thing I have here is my patterns drafted already. I have both the front and the back piece. If you're a beginner, make sure to check the description box on the link on how to draft out your basic bodies. Now I'm going to place the front piece on the back piece, and you can see the only difference between the front piece and the back piece is the armhole, which the front armhole is more defined. Now I'm going with my scissors to cut out the front neckline, which I use 3 inches for the width and 3 inches for the depth, which is a universal measurement. If you watch the basic bodies blog video, you will understand very well. And I cut out the neckline of the back too. Next thing I want to be doing is to mark out the chest line of this top, which is where it's going to end. Now this depends on you and how creative you want to be, or how deep or how open you want yours to be. A yoke jacket is already opened enough, so I prefer mine coming down a bit, so I marked 7 inches for mine. But if you want yours to be higher, as the picture illustration from the picture inspiration we used, make sure to go up a bit higher. Now from the armhole, I'm going to come down by 2 inches. As you can see, you can just go ahead and mark from your bust point, but I just want to work with accuracy, so I came down by 2 inches from the armhole. So I'm going to go ahead and connect my chest line to the armhole point. Now at this point, I was not okay with what I did, so I went ahead to define the curve more, and so you can see me arranging my ruler. So make sure to do what you see in the video, or you can be creative about yours. Now go ahead and cut it out, making sure you are cutting both the front piece and the back piece. Once you are done with that, we are going to keep the lower side aside because that will not be needed. Now we are going to go over to the back piece and we are going to define it more. Okay, the back is supposed to be a bit more open, and you can see me show you guys how I want mine to be. You don't really need a measurement for this. You can just go ahead and just slant it out, be creative about it, but I'll be using my ruler to help me get a clean curve. Like I said, I love to work with accuracy, so I'm going to be using my ruler to get a clean curve, and I'm going to trash out that part, and that's going to be the difference between the front and the back piece. Now we have our patterns ready. Next thing, we'll be cutting them on the fabric. Now for the front piece, I'm going to fold my fabric and place the pattern on it. So you're going to cut it on a fold. You're going to cut one piece on a fold, making sure to leave sewing allowance all around it. Now if you flip it open, I believe you get the picture of what is happening. So now we're going over to the back piece. Please make sure to note your neck armhole, or you can go ahead and notch it so you know where is the neck and where is the shoulder. So for the back piece, you cut it in two separate pieces. Please do not cut your back piece on the fold. Cut in 2 separate pieces. And I hope it's beginning to make sense now the patterns are in fabric. So I went ahead to cut my lining for the fabric. I added gum tape to both the lining and the fabric. I ironed it clean because I want this to be sewn to perfection. As small as it is, I don't want the job to be looking rough because I actually do want to slay this out. So the next thing I'm going to do is to place the lining on the filling fabric, right space in the right place, and sew the part as shown. Also for the back piece, I'm going to sew the neck. Please note only the neck and the lower part, okay? Do not sew the shoulder and the armhole. Once I'm done sewing that, this is what it looks like. Now go ahead with my scissors and notch all the lines that I've sewn. Make sure to trim out the excesses on the lining, on the main fabric. Make sure that your lining and main fabric are aligning together. So go ahead and notch all around. This is going to help your fabric relax well when you flip it over to the right place. Having flipped this and arranged it, I hope you're getting a picture of everything. Next thing we are going to do now is to attach the shoulders together. I'm going to open it up as seen, making sure that the right face of the fabric is touching the right face of the fabric and the lining is touching the lining, such that by the time I sew it up, all the rough edges is going to be locked inside. Now we have gone ahead to sew it up, and this is what it's looking like. This job is looking really clean. I took my time to give this a very clean press, so make sure to give yours a good press as well. So now that I'm done, I'm going to sew up the sides. That's the under armhole where I came down by 2 inches. I'm going to sew that up. and we already have our yoke jackets ready, front and back. For the back, I'm just going to add buttons, and I'm going to create a button loop. Now let's move over to the sleeve, which is quite the most interesting part of this tutorial. Your sleeve can come in different form. It could be flare and all of that. For the width of the sleeve, I have 32 inches, and for the length of the sleeve, I have 20 inches, which is quite long, but I do not mind. So now I'm going to flip the sleeves in the way that we are going to understand better. So now that I have it turned, I'm going to fold it up in two, and I'm going to shape my sleeve. So you know the sleeve is not supposed to be fully straight, it's supposed to have a slanted end. So I'm going to go ahead and shape my sleeve without using any measurements. Just go ahead and shape it, because it's a big sleeve and it's going to fit in regardless. So whatever you do to any of the sleeve, make sure to repeat to the second sleeve. So I'm going to duplicate that on the next sleeve, and then I have both my sleeves shaped already. After shaping the sleeve, I'm going to fold the base of the sleeve. I'm going to create an elastic channel. I'm going to sew up such that my elastic can pass through. Now I've sewn it up and I'm fixing in my elastic into that space. I cut my elastic to the measurement of my arm. I made sure it was firm enough, so do well to check yours on your body before putting your elastic. So now that I've fixed the elastic and secured the end so it doesn't pull in back, I'm going to now close up the sleeve as seen. So take it to your sewing machine and do that. Whatever you do to that sleeve, make sure to do to the other part as well. And after sewing for the top part, we are going to give it a straight or loose stitch so we can be able to gather the top part. Take your time to pull your gathers from both sides so that your thread doesn't cut at midst, and make sure to use the armhole of your blouse to check if you've gotten the accurate volume of gathers that you need. So I've checked mine and I think I was cool with what I have already, and I went ahead to my sewing machine to sew it. After I did that, I also went ahead to sew the other part off camera, and that is everything for this tutorial, guys. And this is the results that we have. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. If you learned something new, let me know in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe.